Two men are on the run, sprinting for their lives from a group of assassins. They scramble into a waiting getaway car parked on the side of the road. The driver checks their IDs before unlocking the doors. But when the boss, the older of the two men, sees that the driver is a woman, he's furious. What kind of special transport service sends a girl? He explodes. With the pursuers closing in fast, they have no choice but to jump in and tell her to drive. The driver calmly asks, "Sir, have you fastened your seatbelt?" The boss scoffs, puffing out his chest. "I've got my belt," he retorts, gesturing to the buckle of his pants. "All right," she replies coolly. "That'll be an extra 60,001 for the seatbelt violation fine." With that, she throws the car into gear and floors it, slamming the two men back in their seats. Then, she executes a sharp 180-degree turn and rockets off down the street. The boss, wide-eyed with surprise, quickly buckles up and grips the door handle. "Scared now, are we?" she asks, a hint of amusement in her voice. They're tearing down the road when another car starts tailing them closely. Unfazed, the driver, her face expressionless, pulls off a smooth, controlled drift, sliding the car into the next lane and leaving the pursuer in the dust. The boss, impressed, starts showering her with compliments. But their adversaries aren't giving up that easily. They up the ante, bringing in reinforcements to box her in. Now surrounded by 4 cars, they're forced to stop. The driver, however, remains calm, taking a casual sip from her water bottle. Suddenly, she throws the car into reverse, whips the steering wheel, and dives down a narrow alleyway. One of the pursuers manages to keep up. She spots a tight parking space and executes a perfect reverse flick, sliding the car neatly between 2 other vehicles. Then, she kills the engine and ducks down, blending seamlessly into the surroundings. Once the pursuer passes, she fires up the engine again and speeds off, only to be confronted by another car. With lightning-fast reflexes, she pulls off a breathtakingly close maneuver, narrowly avoiding a collision with the assassin's vehicle. Having lost sight of her, the pursuer gets out of his car to look around. Unbeknownst to him, the driver has killed the engine again and is letting the car silently roll down a slight incline, successfully slipping past him undetected. Almost, he catches a glimpse of her. Knowing she's been spotted, she triggers a nearby scaffolding collapse, effectively creating a distraction and making her escape. But these guys are relentless. They're not going to let her go that easily. Seeing a railroad crossing up ahead, she takes a gamble and guns it, racing towards the tracks and following closely behind a passing train. Now's the time. The driver floors it and executes a daring, high-speed pass, narrowly overtaking the train just as it enters a tunnel. Once they're safe, the boss promptly pays her. He's extremely pleased with her services, offering her a generous tip and even suggesting that she come work for him, promising a life of luxury. But the driver isn't interested. She's all business. All she wants is the agreed-upon fee. She hands back his business card and walks away coolly, ignoring his further attempts to persuade her. This woman's name is Unha. Officially, she's a scrap car dealer, but that's just a cover. Her real job is delivering special packages, the kind nobody else will touch. For the right price, she guarantees delivery no matter what. She's essentially a female transporter. Meanwhile, a man who runs an international gambling website is stealthily climbing up his ceiling to retrieve a USB drive containing sensitive data. The TV news is ablaze with reports about match fixing in soccer, implicating dozens of players. Worse, the reports link him to corrupt government officials. He sees his own image on the screen but remains unfazed. This is all part of his plan. His priority now is getting his son out of the country. It turns out he was once a professional soccer player himself, lured into the dark world of match fixing by African bookmakers, and now he's paying the price. After securing fake passports and booking passage on a ship, the human smuggler he's working with recommends a special transport service, one that can guarantee their safe arrival at the port. Of course, this premium service comes at a steep price, but money is no object. He'll do whatever it takes to ensure he and his son escape. After the gambling website crashes overnight, the furious crime boss storms into his secret office, demanding answers from his bewildered underlings. He's convinced there's a traitor in their midst. He orders them to check the safe, only to discover that the key to his secret vault is missing. A henchman nervously points out, "Didn't you take it yesterday, boss?" The boss goes pale. 30 billion won from the website was stored on a drive attached to that key. He orders the useless henchman eliminated and immediately launches a manhunt for the traitor. Elsewhere, Unha is offered a new job by her contact. After a moment of hesitation, she accepts. After confirming the client's identity and the details of the operation, she drives to the designated pickup location. But the client never shows. Something's wrong. No one who's desperate to escape has ever been late before. Just as she's about to leave, a young boy, pursued by a group of menacing men, runs towards her car, frantically banging on the window and pleading for help. Unha, not wanting to get involved, hesitates, but she can't just leave him to die. After a moment of internal debate, she unlocks the door and lets him in. She slams the accelerator and speeds away, narrowly escaping the thugs, but they quickly block her path, smashing their clubs against her car windows. Thinking fast, she throws the car into reverse, then executes a slick turn, maneuvering out of their trap and leaving them in the dust. Just when they think they're safe, they run into the crime boss himself. He's waiting for them, blocking the road. With his henchmen closing in from behind, there's nowhere to go. Unha makes a split-second decision and accelerates straight towards him, a daring game of chicken. Just as the two cars are about to collide, the boy's father appears, sacrificing himself to create an opening for his son's escape. The crime boss, enraged at losing his prey, slams his fist on the steering wheel. Unha, unaware of the truly dangerous enemy she's just made, speeds away. Reaching a safe location, she stops the car, intending to leave the boy and be done with it. She's saved him, and that's enough. But the boy clings to her, refusing to let go. With no other options, she calls her contact, the scrapyard owner, and explains the situation. They both struggle with what to do with the boy, who's now orphaned and has nowhere to go. The scrapyard owner suggests taking the reward money and dropping the boy off at a childcare facility, not exactly the actions of a good Samaritan. In a moment of compassion, Unha decides to go back for the boy. Meanwhile, the crime boss calmly strolls into a police station. It turns out he's a corrupt police inspector, his criminal activities masked by his badge. He quickly manipulates the situation, framing Unha for the boy's father's death, making it look like an accident she caused. He leverages his authority and resources to track down Unha and the boy. Unha and the boy arrive at a hotel to rest. After the boy falls asleep, she strategically places her phone on the bedside table and heads down to the parking garage, stopping at a convenience store along the way to buy a screwdriver. She has her eye on a particular car. With expert precision, she picks the lock of a high-end vehicle. The corrupt cop, having quickly located them, dispatches his men to the hotel to apprehend them. The men burst into the hotel room, only to trigger a makeshift alarm Unha had rigged to the door. Alerted by the noise on her phone, she grabs the boy and they flee, cleverly disguising themselves as hotel staff to slip past the intruders. But the wily crime boss is on to them. He corners them in an elevator, calmly presses the alarm button, and then pulls out his gun, revealing his true identity to a stunned Unha. He drops the pretense and attacks her. He demands the secret key, but she has no idea what he's talking about. Suddenly, the boy bites the crime boss hard on the leg, creating a distraction. Unha seizes the opportunity, wrestles the gun away from him, and points it at his head. The crime boss, assuming she's too timid to pull the trigger, mocks her, but she fires a shot, narrowly missing him and scaring him witless. Taking advantage of the chaos before his backup arrives, she and the boy escape. Reaching safety, she grabs the boy's backpack, wanting to know what the crime boss is so desperately after. The boy pulls out the encrypted key, revealing that his father gave it to him before he died. The key is the password to access the 30 billion won, and it's the reason they're both now in mortal danger. At the police station, a woman from the intelligence agency offers her assistance in tracking down Unha. The crime boss is uneasy about this outside involvement, fearing exposure, but he can't refuse the help. Unha and the boy decide to try and find the boy's mother. Although his father claimed he didn't have one, the resourceful boy managed to find his mother's phone number on his father's abandoned phone. Unha makes the call and locates the mother. She works at a bar and refuses to acknowledge the boy as her son, fearing the repercussions of her ex-husband's criminal life. The police soon track down Unha. The crime boss secretly orders his men to eliminate her before the police arrive. While Unha talks to the woman, the boy waits in the car. When she returns, she tells the boy his mother doesn't want to see him and that he should forget about her. This hurts the boy deeply, and he accuses her of lying. As they argue, Unha is ambushed and knocked to the ground. The gangsters grab the boy, leaving one behind to eliminate Unha. She's not going down without a fight. She stabs the thug in the leg with her screwdriver, kicks him hard, and makes a run for it. She races after the car carrying the boy, displaying impressive climbing skills as she scrambles to get ahead of them. Using her jacket, she creates a makeshift sling attached to an overhead water pipe, then sets the jacket on fire with her lighter. Seconds later, the parking garage's sprinkler system activates, unleashing a torrent of water. The car carrying the boy loses traction on the slick floor, its visibility hampered by the downpour. It spins out of control and crashes into a support pillar. As the driver stumbles out to assess the damage, Unha appears, launching herself at the car door with incredible force, slamming it shut on his leg, breaking it with a sickening crunch. She jumps into the driver's seat and is about to speed off when another car comes barreling towards her. With expert precision, she maneuvers the car out of the way just in time, sending the other vehicle crashing into the wreckage. The relentless pursuer, undeterred, continues the chase, pushing Unha into a corner. She's forced to reverse as the assassin, with a triumphant grin, floors it. His smile quickly fades as Unha suddenly activates her high beams and swerves to the side. Too late. The assassin realizes he's heading straight for a precipitous drop. His car plunges over the edge, crumpling into a mangled mess. Though she's escaped, Unha is badly injured and loses consciousness. The car is disabled. The terrified boy, seeing her condition, burst into tears and ran into the street, desperately flagging down a passing car for help. After a kind woman helps the boy get medical attention for Unha, he shows remarkable loyalty. He uses all the money he has to buy the woman's old, beat-up car as a gift for Unha, repaying her for saving his life. Meanwhile, the intelligence agency, suspicious of the crime boss's behavior, begins to doubt Unha's guilt in the kidnapping and murder. They launch their own investigation and uncover concrete evidence implicating the crime boss. When Unha wakes up, she's surprised by the boy's gesture. Although he's naively spent all his money on a clunky old car without even a key, she can't bring herself to scold him, charmed by his sweet face. She calls her contact the scrapyard owner. After some grumbling, he agrees to help them get fake passports so they can escape the country. Meanwhile, the crime boss, wanting to tie up loose ends, hires a ruthless team of assassins, willing to eliminate anyone who gets in their way. After bringing the boy to the scrapyard, Unha gives the encrypted key to her contact for safekeeping. He also manages to secure a fake passport for the boy. Just as Unha secures passage on a ship out of the country, the crime boss's men track the car to the scrapyard. They storm the place, attacking the scrapyard owner without warning. He manages to trigger an alarm, alerting everyone to escape. Seeing that he's not easily intimidated, the crime boss uses a nail gun to try and torture information out of him, but he refuses to reveal anything about the key. Down below, the mechanic, alerted by the alarm, hides the boy in the trunk of a car, telling him not to come out. He then grabs a weapon and goes to rescue his boss, but he's quickly discovered and brutally beaten. Realizing the mechanic might be permanently crippled, the scrap yard owner finally speaks. He tells them the key is in a safe that requires both a passcode and his fingerprint to open. As the safe is opened, the wily old man grabs a gun and takes out two of the gangsters. But he's no match for the crime boss, who, enraged, unloads his gun into him and retrieves the encrypted key. Just then, Unha arrives back at the scrapyard and hears the gunshots. Sensing trouble, she cautiously approaches, peeking through a window to see her contact lying dead, brutally murdered. Inside, she sees the boy being held captive by one of the assassins. Grief-stricken by the loss of her friend and mentor, Unha breaks down, tears streaming down her face. But her sorrow quickly turns to cold, hard rage. She pulls out her trusty screwdriver, ready to take on the entire gang and avenge her friend's death. She cuts the power, plunging the scrap yard into darkness. A skilled fighter, she quickly and silently takes out two assassins in the shadows. The crime boss proves a tougher opponent. She manages to stab him in the stomach, then nimbly dodges his gunshot. She grapples with him, landing another blow, but just as she gains the upper hand, another assassin attacks her from behind. She narrowly avoids his attack, only to be grabbed by another who pulls out a knife, ready to finish her off. Just when things seemed hopeless, Unha grabbed his arm, delivered a powerful kick to the other thug, then unleashed a flying kick, think Chuck Norris's roundhouse kick, launching herself off a table and sending the assassin crashing to the ground. Snatching a sharp object from the table, she quickly took him down. The car mechanic, no longer willing to be a victim, seized a nearby weapon and smashed it against the other assassin's leg, freeing himself and the young boy. Meanwhile, the battered and bruised crime boss patched himself up with duct tape. Unha found herself grappling with another opponent. This guy was tough, forcing her to use her entire body weight just to take him down. Next up was the unlucky assassin who had his leg stabbed and then met his end with a nail gun. Talk about a dramatic finish. Exhausted but not broken, Unha was suddenly attacked by another thug who slammed her into a wall and threw her across the room. But as luck, or perhaps bad luck with a twist of good, would have it, she landed near the contact's gun. One shot and the assassin was down for the count. The crime boss, struggling, reached for the gun and fired wildly at Unha. Thinking fast, she dove through a window and made her escape. Now behind the wheel of a car, she frantically honked the horn, searching for the boy. Relief washed over her as she found him. Just as they thought they were safe, a forklift came barreling towards them. A conveniently placed car blocked its path, preventing them from plunging into the sea. Behind the wheel of the forklift was the crooked cop, now revealed and driven to madness by his failed plan. Like a cornered animal, he grabbed the boy and threw him into the ocean. Without hesitation, Unha leaped into action. The cop shot her in the chest. But Unha was no pushover. She retaliated, stabbing him and knocking him into the sea. The fight continued underwater. Unha delivered a final, fatal blow to the villain's chest, ending his reign of terror. As she surfaced, gasping for air and reaching for the boy, the relentless villain grabbed her leg, handcuffing her ankle to his wrist. With a sinister grin, he declared, "If I die, you die too." Knowing her time was running out, Unha bid the boy a final farewell and used her remaining strength to push him towards the surface. Just then, the police and intelligence agencies arrived, rescuing the boy, who wept inconsolably for the woman who saved him. Time passed, and the boy returned to a normal life, though he never forgot Unha. One day, walking home from school, he heard a familiar tune. Wasn't that the song he and Unha used to listen to in the car? He ran towards the sound, but the car was mysteriously empty. Then, in a moment of pure movie magic cue, the dramatic music Unha appeared, seemingly resurrected, radiating main character energy. Turns out, she hadn't died after all. Overjoyed, the boy rushed to embrace her. "I may lose in love," Unha quipped, "but I never lose on the road." They hopped back in the car, ready to take on their next special delivery. What a wild ride, right? Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.